This is a reading of Know Yourself, an explanation of the oneness of being by Bal Yani. On the meaning of the saying of the Prophet Muhammad, God bless him and give him peace. Whoever knows their self knows their Lord. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful God, before whose oneness there is no before, unless the before is He, and after whose singleness there is no after, unless the after is He. He is, and there is not with Him any before or after, above or below, closeness or distance, how or where or when, time or moment or duration, manifested existence or place. And He is now as He has always been. He is the one without oneness, and the single without singleness. He is not composed of name and named, for His name is Him, and His named is Him, and there is no name or named other than Him. He is the first without firstness, and the last without lastness. He is the apparent without appearance, and the hidden without hiddenness. I mean that He is the very existence of the letters of the names, the first and the last, the apparent and the hidden. There is no first or last, apparent or hidden, except Him. Without the letters which form these divine names, becoming Him, and without Him, becoming these letters. Understand this so as not to make the mistake of those who believe in incarnation. He is not in anything, and nothing is in Him, whether entering into Him or coming out of Him. It is in this way that you should know Him, and not through theoretical knowledge, reason, understanding, or conjecture, nor with the senses, the external eye, or interior sight or perception. No one sees Him except himself. No one reaches Him except himself, and no one knows Him except himself. He knows himself through himself, and he sees himself by means of himself. No one but he sees him. His veil is his oneness, since nothing veils him other than him. His own being veils him. His being is concealed by his oneness without any condition. No one other than he sees him. No sent prophet, perfect saint, or angel brought close knows him. His prophet is he. His messenger is he. His message is he. And his word is he. He sent himself from himself, through himself, to himself. There is no intermediary or means other than him. There is no difference between the sender, that which is sent, and the one to whom it is sent. The very existence of the prophetic message is his existence. There is no existence to any other who could pass away or have a name or be named. Because of this, the prophet, God bless him and give him peace, said, whoever knows their self knows their Lord. He also said, I knew my Lord through my Lord. What the prophet pointed out by that is that you are not you, but you are him, and there is no you. It is not that he enters into you, or that you enter into him, or that he comes out of you, or that you come out of him. That does not mean that you have being and you are qualified by this or that attribute. What is meant is that you never were and never will be, whether through yourself or through him or in him or with him. You have neither ceased to be, nor are you existent. You are him and he is you, without any of these imperfections. If you know your existence in this way, then you know God, and if not, then not. Most of those who claim to know God make the knowledge of God dependent on the passing away of existence and on the passing away of that passing away. That is clearly an error and misconception. The knowledge of God does not require the passing away of existence or the passing away of that passing away, because things have no existence, and what does not exist cannot pass away. Passing away implies the prior existence of the thing that passes away. If you know yourself without existing and passing away, then you know God, and if not, then not. By making the knowledge of God dependent on the passing away of your existence and the passing away of that passing away, there is an affirmation of something other than God. The prophet said, whoever knows their self knows their Lord.
Whoever knows their self knows God. Much love and high vibrations.
He did not
High.
say, whoever alienates their self knows their Lord. Your being is nothing, and whatever is nothing cannot be placed in relationship to anything else, whether it is capable of passing away or not, and whether it is existent or non-existent. The prophet alluded to the fact that you are non-existent now as you were non-existent before creation. Because now is eternity without beginning, and now is eternity without end, and now is timelessness. God is the very being of eternity without beginning, eternity without end, and timelessness, even though in reality there is no eternity without beginning, eternity without end, or timelessness. If it were otherwise, he would not be alone, without any associate. However, it is necessary for him to be alone without any associate, because any associate would exist through itself and not through the being of God. Then that associate would not need God and would therefore be a second Lord, which is impossible. God has no associate, equal, or like. Whoever sees anything with God, whether coming out of him or within him, but dependent on him by virtue of his lordship, has also made that thing an associate, even though that associate depends on him by virtue of his lordship. Whoever allows that there could be anything with God, whether subsisting by itself or through him, whether in a state of having passed away or the passing away, is far from breathing the scent of self-knowledge. Because whoever accepts that there could be anything other than him, yet subsisting through him and in him, then passing away in successive stages of passing away and passing away of passing away, which is polytheism upon polytheism and not knowledge of the self at all. It is a polytheist who believes in many gods and does not know God or themselves. If someone asks, what is the way to knowledge of the self and knowledge of God? The answer is, it consists in being aware that God is and nothing is with him. And he is now as he has always been. If someone then says, I see myself as other than God, and I do not see God as myself, the answer is, the prophet meant by the word self, your being and your essential reality, and not the self which is called the blaming self, or the lower self, or the self which is known as the confident and peaceful self. By the self, he was alluding to everything that is other than God, like when he said, "Oh God, show me things as they are," indicating by things whatever is other than God. That is, make me know what is other than you, so that I may know what brings things really are, whether they are you or other than you, whether you are eternal or substant, or newly happening and temporal. Then God showed him what is other than him as himself, without the existence of what is other than him. So he saw things as they are. That is, he saw them as the essence of God, who is exalted, without how or where. The word things applies to the self and to other things, because the existence of the self and the existence of things are equal in terms of being things. When you know the things, you know yourself, and when you know yourself, you know the Lord. Because what you think is other than God is not other than God, but you do not know it. You see him, and you do not know that you see him. When this secret is revealed to you, you will know that you are not other than God, but you are yourself, are the object of your quest. You do not need to get rid of yourself. You have not ceased, nor will you cease to exist without time and without moments, as we have already mentioned. You will see his attributes as your attributes, your exterior as his exterior, your interior as his interior, your first as his first, and your last as his last, without any doubt or uncertainty. You will see your attributes to be his attributes, and your essence to be his essence, without you becoming him, and without him becoming you in the least degree. Everything passes away except his face, both outwardly and inwardly. This means that there is no existent but him. Nothing other than him has being and therefore has to pass away so that his face remains. There is nothing except his face. It is as if a person who does not know something then comes to know it. Their existence does not disappear, but their ignorance disappears. Their existence remains as it was, without being exchanged for another, and without the existence of the ignorant person being added to or mixed with the knowing person. Ignorance simply disappears. Do not think, therefore, that you need to pass away, because if it were necessary to pass away, that would mean that you are his veil. You would therefore be veiled by something other than himself. This would require something other than him having power over him, which prevents him from being seen. This is an error and misconception. As we have already said, his veil is nothing other than his oneness and his singularity. That is why the person who has reached the essential truth is allowed to say, I am the truth, or glory to me. No one has truly reached him unless they see their attributes to be the attributes of God, and their essence to be the essence of God, without their essence or their attributes ever entering into God or coming out of him, and without passing away in relationship to God or remaining in God. They see that their self has never been their own, not that it was and then passed away, because there is no self except his self, and there is no being except his being. This is what the prophet was alluding to when he said, do not curse time, because God is time, and God, who is blessed and exalted, is unblemished by any associate or equal or like. It is also reported that the prophet said, the high God says, O child of Adam, I was sick and you did not visit me. I was hungry and you did not feed me. I asked of you and you did not give to me. This alludes to the fact that the being of the person who asked is his being. When this is accepted, it is also accepted that your being is his being, and the being of all created things, whether substance or accident, is his being. When the secret of an atom is discovered, the secret of all created things is made clear, whether they are apparent or hidden. You do not see the two worlds as other than God, without the two worlds and their names and what they name existing, or rather their names and what they name and their existence are him, without any doubt. You do not see God as having ever created anything, but as being every day in a different configuration, which sometimes reveals him and sometimes conceals him, without any condition, since he is the first and the last, the apparent and the hidden, and he has knowledge of everything. He manifests himself in his oneness and hides himself in his singularity. He is the first in his essence and his self-substance, and the last in his everlastingness. He is the very being of the name, and the first in the name, the last of the name, the apparent, and the name the hidden. He is his own name, and what is named. Just as his existence is necessary, the non-existence of what is other than him is necessary. What you think is other than him is not other than him. He is free from being any other than him. Indeed, other than him is him without any otherness. Whether this is with him or in him, inwardly or outwardly. Whoever is qualified in this way has innumerable attributes, without limit or end, just as the person whose physical form passes away is deprived of all their attributes, whether praiseworthy or blameworthy. So the person who dies a mystical death has all their attributes, whether praiseworthy or blameworthy, taking away from them, and God comes in their place in all their states. The essence of God comes into the place of their existence, and the attributes of God come into the place of their attributes. Because of this, the prophet said, "Die before you die." That is, know yourself before you die. He also said, God says, "My servant continues to approach me with free acts until I love him. And when I love him, I am his hearing, his sight, his hand." Which refers to the fact that whoever knows their self sees their whole being as the very being of God. With
That's all y'all motherfuckers get.